So, during a moment of bravery, the group decide to weather the ruins underneath Kazak Grom, and having just paid for your licenses to excavate and explore and perhaps even return with loot, you set out into a long winding corridor which goes on for some 20 feet before turning into a staircase. Enough for two people to go side by side, but a narrow spiralling staircase making you travel one by one if you do not wish to fall to your death, as this thing is steep. It is stone crafted and well constructed with barely a loose stone within, but as you go down and these steps go on for some time, you realise that there is less and less opportunity to perhaps maintain this, and travelling forward in only the light of whoever is currently carrying a lit torch, you descend into the darkness. This goes on for some... is anyone counting the steps? Just as a curiosity.
Rogel always counts.
Rogel will count the steps. Rogel, you count 190 steps on your way down, each one being quite a feat for you to get your small legs over. But you make your way to what appears to be the bottom, where, arriving at the base of these stairs, you have a small doorway which opens up into a cavernous area, and holding your little diagram out in front of you, you can see and sort of meet these up to realise this is where the network of tunnels, tombs, mines and catacombs all exist. Now, you have a planned journey, at least in that the Slayer had shown you a few locations, so you are aware of a few routes in order to get to the underground reservoir.
Let us take the safest path.
Okay. So, firstly, who's carrying the torch? And there will be enough to all move side by side, but is there a marching order for down here?
Oleg would be going first because he has the night vision.
Okay.
And the storm.
I would like to go in the back.
Okay. Right.
I want Rogel squeezed in between us.
Okay. So, Shauna in the back. We've got Oleg in the front, Grimvald and Rogel somewhere in the middle. Sounds good. Now, who would like to do the honorary roll of a D100 for me? One person.
Let's let...
Yeah.
Okay.
Give us Luke Bruder.
75.
75.
Nice number.
75. Okay.
Is that good or bad?
I will look this up on my magical chart of things.
I don't think it's where rolling low is good or bad.
Yeah, don't worry on how high or low it is. Like, it's all a thing. Okay. Bear with me just a second to have a little peruse through the rules.
Say your magical words, bibbidi bobbidi boobidi.
Gloopen.
Okay. Oleg, I'd like you to make me a -10 perception test as you are traversing through. Actually, because of your dark vision, we're going to get rid of the -10. So just a regular perception test for you.
So.
Oh.
Good roll. Good roll. As you are making your way down a fairly wide tunnel, you spot in front of you, Oleg, the ground changed texture slightly, at least a central portion in this chamber, and pressing it very lightly with your foot, you realise that some cloth has perhaps been disguised as a floor, and applying a little bit of pressure, it breaks loose to reveal a spiked pit on the floor in front of you that seems to have been laid. Thanks to your roll, you're able to investigate the entire area and map out in front of you a safe route. And after this, traps, coverings have broken free. The group is able to press forward and move around. This is some 15 foot deep, and at the base are a mixture of wooden and metal spikes. This seems to have been crudely constructed. It would not be something that would look particularly dwarven in nature.
Do we recognize it from our many encounters with goblins or anything like that? Like, are these spikes like tip?
It's shoddy enough to be consistent with the cage you were put inside. It's haphazardly put together in that sort of way, at least.
Okay, so
It's
maybe
of that level of
then.
craftsmanship, but that's all you would really be aware of. Right. Now moving forward, I'm going to ask for one more perception test. Actually, sorry, Oleg, I'm going to ask you for an intuition test, please.
Intuition.
This is to see if your sixth sense is going to pick up on anything as you travel through. Okay, seems pretty safe. You move forward and arrive at a large central pillar, which seems to be at the end of a particular tunnel. Although Rogel conferring with your map, it does seem that it does continue forward. Let me switch Maparuni for a moment and give you a little bit of a visual. Right. One.
Is my nose for trouble?
Not at the mo. Not at the mo.
No.
Right. So there we go. I will pop you here. There we go. So you are greeted in front of you, once again as a recap, with a large central pillar, which is spanning from the floor right the way up to the ceiling, which is perhaps some 30 foot above you. The walls at the side of this chamber are more or less rocky and cavernous. There's no particular signs of carving or civilization of sorts. This is what you see in front of you, at least. What are you to do?
This is one of the landmarks on the map.
There's no landmark here. This, as far as the map has drawn, is a continuous tunnel, but it hasn't marked there being an end here.
And there.
So that
Isn't it?
that means that there's a way out on the other side.
Maybe it caved in on itself.
This looks amazing, though. This beautiful pillar of rock going straight.
Make a perception test for me, looking at the pillar. Make a perception test.
What?
What?
If you make a perception test for me, looking at the pillar.
Oh my god!
Looks like a big old rock. Looks pretty cool. Yeah, it's a really big pillar.
It's so big.
Mm.
Can anybody else try a perception test?
Yeah, you can have a look. What do you want to look at?
The
Okay.
pillar.
Looking at the pillar, Shauna, you can see that it does. Looking at it from a certain angle as you step to the right slightly, it looks like a dwarf.
Like a dwarf?
It looks like a dwarf. You can actually see that it does resemble perhaps a dwarf in a fairly heroic stance. Although it's quite difficult to actually make
So
it
it's like a
out. It's far more than coincidence.
I relay that information to the party.
Does the face look anything familiar?
After Sean has explained to you what's going on, that she thinks she can see it, and sort of you eye yourself up at the same angle and have an examination. Let's have a intelligence -20 from you.
Let's go. Another crit. Gimme it, Reynold. Gimme the crit. Boom.
Okay, nice. It does seem to be a familiar face and beard to one of the dwarven deities you saw on the temple. You're not exactly sure which, but this does look like a similar dwarf to that of a one that they worship.
Fair enough. I'll make a mental note to check the.
Can I mark it on the map using my?
Yeah, you can certainly mark it in the map.
Yeah, and be like, look at this. We found a holy dwarf god statue.
Okay.
Here on.
Anything else you would like
If you
to
want
do
to
while
come
you're here? Or...
excavate it,
Can we explore around the vicinity if we can notice anything? Like
certainly
around
can.
the rock.
Stepping around the back of it, you find a chest. It's currently hung underneath a group of rocks. You're still able to reach it and sort of get your hands to it, but it's basically positioned in a sort of a little alcove.
That seems trappy.
Yeah, that seems trappy.
Yeah, it seems like an obvious trap, guys.
Maybe it's so obvious it's not a trap.
I mean, maybe it's not so obvious to Grim.
Should have bought a 10-foot pole.
Well, we have a grappling hook and rope.
Can we use the grappling hook and rope to pull the chest out?
You can certainly attach it to. Do you just want to pull it out from the location, or
Yeah, just pull it out from the location.
okay?
Shauna
Okay.
swiftly.
So you take a moment to attach the rope, sort of around in sort of lasso style, and slowly and carefully drag the chest out more into the open. Where would you like to drag it to? It's not.
Well, I'd put myself like around here and just drag it towards me.
It's fairly light. It doesn't seem to be, although it's a wooden chest. It doesn't seem to. It's not got bricks in it. Let's put it that way. It's not full to the brim of something.
Okay, but basically I pull it out and nothing happens, right?
It's full to the groom.
Nothing's happened.
Okay. Rogel, you might wanna use your
Mumbo jumbo.
mumbo jumbo, yeah, and do the boogie. Yeah.
I can't leave a trail like that anymore.
Oh, come on.
I'll try it if you fail.
All right. Can we inspect it then?
You can inspect it, certainly, from the outside.
Yes.
There is a small hole for a key to be inserted into, and a latch which sort of falls down over the top and is currently holding it closed. Aside from that, it looks like it probably was dwarven some time ago. It has a sort of a very harsh and angular nature, similar to the architecture of the town you have been inside. So, looks to be, you'd be pretty certain of dwarven sort of construction.
All right. Any way to check it for traps?
You can...
Or is that more of an advanced skill?
Yeah. It's getting on a bit D&D-ish here. You can make me a perception test of the externals to see if you can...
Or rather, is there anywhere we could slide a dagger in between and maybe force it open?
Okay. You can, if you attempt to start to open it, it's not locked.
Oh.
Okay.
It's open.
I just try to open it safely, like standing behind the chest and just popping it open.
Okay.
Rogel's just gonna stand over here, grabbing the bridge of his nose, and just be like, "It was just open. It was just open."
Tie the rope around the top and pull it from a distance.
We could do that
Oh my-
too, but we'll just get it over with and open the chest.
Okay.
After seeing the pitfalls.
So you're just going to pop it open. Okay. So, standing behind it, Grim, you open it up, and as you open, it lets out a beautiful melodic sound that sounds like 20 wind chimes bashing together. It's fairly soft, but it does let a little bit of an echo bounce off of the walls and gently fade off after a few seconds.
As I hear the sound, I just close it back.
Okay.
Hey guys, we're about to.
Yeah.
And
Could I hear it from this distance?
say that again? Do you hear that? Yes, you do.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, you do. It resonates
I just-
perfectly with
I
the
get ready
chamber.
for trouble.
Yes. Oleg, roll me an intuition check.
Me?
No, just
Oleg.
Oleg.
Don't worry.
To see if he can sense any trouble coming this way.
Nope.
All seems fine. About 10 or 20 seconds pass with you all standing on edge, looking at each other back and forth, listening intently. Now, who's got light at this point? Who's carrying the torch? Just so
Lantern
I'm-
boy. Yeah.
Okay. Right. So, from the way you came, you can hear a scraping, scuttling noise. And
Oh
a
God, it's
clanging
rats.
of awkward metals together. It's gradually getting louder and louder until in front of you you can see a few dark figures scurrying toward you. And with that, bear with me a second while I do a few updates. I'm going to have to do the music too.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's rats.
It's rats.
Oh no.
It's a lot of rats. Right. Let me update the music for you as well to get it a little bit more poppy. Let's go for,
Woo-wee, woo-woo-woo.
what should we go for? Furnace.
Some
Yeah,
like
there we go.
70s spooky music.
That
Anything
sounds
but a
good.
band rat.
That sounds good.
Rats from.
Yeah, I like that. That's
Those
heroic
sorts-
as well. Right. So, in front of you appears a small herd and cluster of fairly short, wrangly looking individuals with hunched postures, initially scurrying very low to the floor. You're not even sure if they're perhaps even moving on four limbs. And as they approach, one in particular at the back stands up straight looking towards you. Charge! Get them! Rantings! And with that, we're going to enter combat.
It spoke.
Oh, it's Rogel to go.
Rogel to go. Wow. Okay. Weird. What is Rogel gonna do? So this thing shouted at us, said that we touched its things. So I'm gonna assume that it's coming to kill us. It's a giant rat-looking thing. So I'm going. Oh boy, what am I gonna do?
What are you going to do?
Actually, first, let me ask, what's the how are the winds of magic this day down here in the
Back to neutral.
back to neutral?
Neutral wins a magic. Yep.
I'm gonna move. I think that's enough distance, right?
Mm-hmm.
60 willpower.
60 willpower? Yeah, you're well within range.
Okay. I'm going to try and make some of the rats in front of me. And
Okay. Are you sticking with that or re-rolling?
No, I'll stick.
I'm only asking because you're still breaking up a little bit to me. So, Rogel's go over. It is now the first go of the enemy, and I just have to double check, see how much movement this blighter's got, because I have a feeling it is a fair bit. No, not too bad. Right, with a movement of... Oof! It is going to run towards you, Shauna. Not quite making its way there into combat, but as it does, it prepares a two-handed weapon and points it out toward you, going into what appears to be a slightly more defensive posture as it charges forwards. The next rat by its side... Oh, that is... just... Yeah, it's in range. Oh, crap. Sorry, the phone's going to be ringing for a few minutes, so I'm going to need to get it.
No. Sure.
Sean's about to get
Ratted.
Noch gefickt, ja.
Yeah, we should find a gif of Kyrillian being choked.
Maybe I should have re-rolled that.
Your what pills?
My body, No, you.
I should have looked at the turn order and realized that all the rats that were moving before Grim were
I'm back.
within range.
Sorry about that, ruining the mojo, but she would have called five times otherwise to get through to me because I'm lazy. Right, yeah, these things have a pretty large amount of movement. So charging towards you out of nowhere, Shauna, comes one flanking from the side, the famous flanking manoeuvre of a rat, and it is going to take a swing at you with a fairly successful hit. Now, you do have a shield, I recall, which you picked up from the warrior priest, so that's going to bring its SL down to just 1, but still a success. Let's see if you're able to defend yourself. Okay, it hits. Not a huge hit, but it is a hit still. And we are going to go for 7, 8, 9 damage in total to you, and that will be to your right arm.
The shield only counts if it's used.
Yeah, you have to actually roll parry to get the additional armor from it. I forgot to say that, but you would have had, I think, less stats. But because I didn't say that to you,
How much in total damage?
9.
9. Oof. Oof. Okay, that even hurt me.
Okay. Have you taken away your armor and toughness?
No.
Oh,
I
thought
haven't
you did
calculated
another-
armor and toughness yet. No, it's just 9 damage to you.
Toughness bonus and then
Right on.
armor.
Toughness
Right
bonus
Also,
and
I-
armor of right arm.
I haven't put them in. I have 2 sleeves.
Yeah,
so
you've
that
got
would be-
sleeves now, so you've got leather armor on your arms.
So that's 1 plus her toughness.
Yeah.
Probably only 5 damage after all that.
So that's 1 plus toughness. Go toughness.
Toughness is 3.
Okay.
So it's gonna be 4, so 5 damage total. So
5 damage.
Yeah.
add back.
There we go.
Okay. Looking a little bit better at least. Right. Next one to go. It's going to charge right the way towards you, Eilid, and meet you in glorious melee. It's going to make a single charging attack. Oof.
Oof.
That is a hit. Are you going to
should
roll
parry.
parry with your shield?
Oh,
Nice.
Nice.
Destroyed.
Nice. Well, it does still hit you, though, because you got +2 and it got +4. But at least you mitigate some of that extra damage, and you've got a shield as well, so that's going to reduce
Well,
it.
it got so that reduce it.
The 4 goes to a 3, so it only gets an extra 1, so it's a total of 8 damage on you. Mitigated by... Say that again?
It's a shield 2, not a shield.
Yeah. Does that reduce the SL by 2? I don't think so. It's just defensive. Shield 2 is how much armor you get.
Oh.
Yeah, defensive basically gives -1 SL, but being a bigger shield doesn't give more SL changes.
Right, so armor and toughness.
It's a total of 8 damage mitigated by your armor, and I think you'll include your shield with your armor because you rolled that.
I did, so we'll be taking 1 damage.
1 damage. Okay, and it's currently on 2 advantage there after charging and hitting. Right, we have one more clan rat to go. This one is going to go up and do... God, this initiative order is really rough. Remember, you can use a reroll to shift the initiative order. Right. That is to choose when you act this turn, so you can act sooner if you need to. We're going to have another one attacking you, Oleg, charging in. So this is going to be 1 advantage for this. It's also outnumbering you, so it's going to have a total of plus 30. Oh my god.
Oh god. We're gonna die already.
Oh, actually, you crit that thing in return as well. Oh, bear with me 1 second, because I think you're going to get an extra bonus. I need to roll a critical hit for that rat. I just realised. Oh, no, but you didn't win the test. No, never mind, ignore me. Because it still won the test, it didn't take the crit hit. So,
Right. Just one question though, that first handheld hit that the rat did on me,
yes.
Wouldn't that have lost 2 SL from the shield?
No, it only loses 1.
So it would have been 2 versus 2? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
the shield 2 doesn't knock off 2 SL, the shield 2 gives you 2 armor. But defensive, which is the quality all shields have, and including the buckler, is -1 SL. So all shields are -1 SL, as far as I'm aware.
+1 SL in any melee test for opposing.
Yeah.
No, defensive is if you're wielding it as a weapon. If you're using it as a weapon to block, you get a +1 SL to any melee test you make to oppose an incoming attack.
I'm thinking of parry, which comes with it then. It's the other thing that gives an SL shift. But I'm pretty certain it doesn't give a 2 SL shift, it's still only 1.
Okay.
I could be wrong, so if you want to double check it, because it is fairly important, I don't mind if you want to look. Even if you drew, though, he would have still hit you.
It's...
Because he was lower than you in total, so...
and I don't get any pluses for the critical success that I had last fight, right?
Afraid not. Afraid not. Even though you critical successed, he still beat you in the test.
Oh, good. Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, it's fine. If you had won the test, you would have inflicted damage. So that was a really good roll, considering. So that's a total of 10 damage to your right leg. Of course, minus toughness and all of the other stuff.
Right, so that's going to be 3 hit points. Did you resume recording?
Yes, I have resumed recording. Okay. How are we doing there? Okay. It's Grimval to go.
I just take a step back and just... and charge the one.
Okay. Right, you have your 1 advantage, and he has he managed to hit, so he has 2 advantage.
I'll re-roll that.
But let's see what he gets first. Oof. You still want to re-roll?
Can hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I already re-rolled.
Okay. I'm afraid no go. That
Turned
was
into a 50.
an exceptional roll from the rat, and now on 3 advantage for him.
Well, he has +1 for advantage, right? Or Jordy?
I already included that, holy shit. Oh
Yeah.
my god, this is gonna be a tough one.
These rats are rolling absolutely amazing. This rat is going to... He can't make it into combat. So this one is moving down to here. Shauna, it is you to go.
Slapperoo, the one in front of me.
Okay, you're going to give him a smack.
Yeah, with that sword.
Okay.
Reroll. No, wait.
Okay.
Yeah, reroll.
Yeah, it's a
Reroll?
reroll.
So that's 2.
You do manage to hit him. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage in total. 9 damage in total to him, modified by his bits and bobs, which is going to go to... There we go. He looks fairly hurt. He does seem like he's wearing some sort of leather that absorbs some of the blow, but he does look a bit hurt at least. Oleg, it is you to go.
Okay. Going to take a swing at the threat.
Okay. Yep, he's currently on 3 advantage. The one in front of you has 2, just... But you can attack whichever one you like.
The one with 3.
Yep, the one with 3. Let's see what you can do. Now I need to roll badly, because... Okay, good. Oh no!
Better.
The clan rats are rolling incredible.
You're on a roll today.
Yeah, I know. Oh my god. Yeah, that is another advantage for him as well. Last clan rat is going to run up and join over here. Okay, charging in, not engaged in melee at the moment, but moving forward. It is Rogel to go.
Help a brother out.
Rogel, buddy.
I already rolled.
Oh.
Oh, okay. You've rolled your dart and SL of 0, so you can hit 1 target.
Yep. And I already pinged the guy that I wanted to hit.
Oh, you're going for Grin's guy, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, how much damage is that in total? Is that?
So that's going to... My willpower bonus is 6, so it's going to...
Oh, you just broke up when you said a number to me there. So what is the damage? 7? Or 6? Someone? 7, thank you. Yeah, sorry. If you're... it hurts him. It knocks him back as he's bringing a swing towards Grimvald, and he's looking a little bit better off. It looks like you managed to knock him off of his stance as he's moving to do so. The Skaven here is going to move around and try and attack you, Shauna. It is going to get... It was actually too close to charge, so it's not going to get a charge bonus. It's just going to walk up in combat rather bravely and take a ordinary swing at you with a halberd. Oh, okay. So you get to make a defensive roll now, and
Plus 10.
and you, because of your you've done it anyway, and you've got a shield too, so you actually managed to win that exchange, and you put yourself up to 1 advantage now. This guy losing any advantage.
2, you mean, because
I
she
can-
hit last
Oh,
round.
you did hit him, didn't you? Yeah, my mistake. It's up to 2 now. Yep. So this rat is now going to attempt to hit you, and he's lost all his advantage. So he is going to take a swing with his hand weapon at you, -2, and
Oh,
You want to reroll?
yeah.
well, you do have your shield, which will be -1 SL. But he would
So
still
we
hit
are
you anyway
equal?
because it's a draw and he's got the better number that he's aiming for. I know you've got the higher number. You do win that exchange. You do win that exchange, just because of your
So
shield.
that's 3?
So that's advantage.
Yeah, that's an extra advantage for you. 3 advantage for Shauna, the absolute monster. This creature is going to take another swing at Oleg. There's still not quite an outnumbering bonus because this one's not counted as in combat. It's not in base yet, so we're going to have 1 roll of +20 for this against Oleg. You to defend, buddy. Nice. You managed to defend successfully, him losing all of his advantage and you gaining 1 in return. Next clan rat to go is going to swing at Grimvald with a small rusty looking blade as it reaches it over the top of its head. This one having no advantage anymore. This... Oof!
God damn.
Okay, +2, and that'll end up being 3, and yet you managed to parry. Yeah, you managed to parry it. Good job. So that's 1 advantage for you. And Grimvald is A-OK. Grimvald, it's you to go.
Yeah, I just do a swing my hammer over the head and just
Yeet downwards
Okay.
with 10 advantage.
Holy shit, what's with the rolls?
Okay. Nothing for this guy. He's able to defend from you. And, yeah, because that's not a defensive. So, yeah, he's able to take that advantage back, unfortunately.
Sad times.
Right, one more clan rat to go here. This one is going to charge into Oleg as well, although it's too close to technically charge, so it's just moving into combat to take a swing at Oleg. Still not outnumbering because it's 3 on 2 and the ratio's not high enough yet. -3. Oleg, let's have you defend that, bud.
Okay. And I get my +10 now.
Oh, yes, you do. Successful, and you get another advantage. 2 advantage for you and 0 for it. Shauna, it is you to go with your 3 advantage.
The one that's already hurt.
The one that's already hurt? Okay, you can certainly take a swing at that. +2, and it's defending with not a lot. -5. Oh my god, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is 13 in total, -5, which will be enough to crush it on the head and jam the blade through its neck. You draw the blade black, covered in sort of a horrible sort of purplish red blood and face.
Yeah. I also wink at the other rat, like, this is what's coming for you.
Nice.
Does she gain an advantage for killing the opponent?
Yeah, you get an advantage for winning and 1 for killing.
She's up to 5, holy shit.
Yeah, up to 5. What a beast. Oleg, it's you to go.
Going to smack the hurt one.
Smack the hurt one. Okay, let's have a roll.
That's with 20.
Okay, and this doesn't get anything in return. Unfortunately, a good roll, but not quite good enough. Now, if you're not successful in that, you will lose both your 2 advantage. But
Yeah, I guess I'll re-roll.
it's up to you. But it's just because previously I'd said it's -1 when you lose. Technically, when you lose in a post test, it's minus all advantage. So
Re-roll still has the advantage. So.
yeah, your reroll will still have +20. Oh no!
Oh my
Now
god.
I feel guilty. Now I feel bad.
Okay.
Oh, it's all part of the
Wow.
game, though. It's all part of the game. You suffer a torn muscle minor injury. Okay. Counts as 1 critical wound. So you've got a torn muscle currently after overreaching. And
My both muscles.
this wounded one is now on 2 advantage. Right. Moving around to the side to flank Grimvald is this one, which is going to try and make a... Now, they do outnumber you as a 2-to-1 ratio, so it's now +20. Because of the angle, I won't give it the charge, but it looks like it's probably missed. Grimvald, it's you to try and deflect that. Okay. You get yourself 1 advantage there. And it is Rogel to go again.
That's who.
Okay.
The
The one,
okay.
one with advantage. Okay. Rolling away.
Nice.
Okay.
Hey, look at that +7. so I
That's
get
better.
to choose.
Additional 3 targets, if you wish.
Sure. I'll just hit the row of stuff that has advantage.
Okay. So, yeah, you'll basically hit everything there. So how much damage is that going to be in total? What's that? 7 + 7, 14?
7 + 6, so 13 damage total.
13. Right.
That's
Okay. Okay, 13 minus that. Bear with me 1 second while I scratch my nose.
It's going to be like 8 damage total.
They look really hurt after that. They
Oh,
look-
not that one. Not the one on the left. Oh, wait. How many
you
did I
get
get
3
to hit?
additional targets with the
Oh,
+7
additional.
SL. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'll do that then.
So basically, Rogel mumbles a few words, and just between you and Oleg come these little black darts that go flying into these small rat-looking creatures that are currently jabbing at you with rusted blades, each of them looking and reeling back in pain, looking like they're in agony. Still looking like they're pretty angry, though, and wanting a piece of you. One swing coming towards you, Shauna.
Okay.
Not a particularly good one, and you have plus 50 to defend, and that is enough to successfully defend. So you're up to 6 advantage now. Absolute combat monster. So this one is going to take a roll. Yeah, I know. Like, who needs armor and stuff when you've got a Shauna? This one is going to take a single swing at Oleg because they outnumber you 2 to 1. It is going to... Oof! Finally a fumble for an enemy. Suffers a torn muscle minor injury. Okay. I will note that for this guy. And Clan Rat, you can still roll to oppose that, Oleg. Although I'd be amazed if you're unsuccessful. Okay.
Oh my god.
But it goes down to minus, because you're defending. Like, he goes to minus.
It would.
Yeah, I'm just seeing who's got the better number. The Clan Rat has the better number, actually, so technically the Clan Rat hit you with that. Is that so? Yeah. But it'll be...
7 damage.
7 damage,
Better,
yeah.
it's mine.
7 damage. It'll do a minimum of 1 wound.
So 1 then.
Yep. Okay, 1 advantage for him. So he manages to catch his own arm with his blade as he's jabbing towards you, but slightly throwing you off guard. It goes through his arm and ends up sort of piercing your shoulder, or body, as the case may be. Grimbold, it's you to go. 1 advantage for you.
I swing my hammer towards the one in front of me.
Okay. 0, minus 1. You managed to hit, and that will definitely be enough to kill. That's an extra 2 advantage for you.
Doesn't it transfer to nearby targets as well? No.
These guys don't count as small targets, so you don't get the death blow rule.
Okay.
And they're kind of small humanoid, kind of like a dwarf, but not enough to be... They're still bigger than Rogel. Right, this one is going to make 1 more swing at Oleg, and they don't outnumber you anymore, so that's always nice. Minus 3, Oleg to defend. Okay, you defend just fine, and you're able to net yourself 1 advantage. Shauna, with your 6 advantage.
Yep.
Swing away. It does crit, so I really hope you win this test.
Yep.
Yes, you do, so you're okay. 8, 9, 10 in total, and down to 9, and that is all of that. Still hurts him, but he's wearing some thicker metallic-looking armour, and although you're able to get your blade onto the side of him, it digs in an inch, but the metal is a little hard for your blade to pierce. Oleg.
Boat hooking this guy.
Boat hooking that guy. Okay.
Oops.
Not a bad roll from him. And you've got 1 advantage as well in there, but that's a definite hit. And 8, 9, 10, 11, 9. There, that's enough to net you another 2 advantage, so putting you up to 3. And 1 Clan Rat left to go is going to have a swing at Grimvold. It's looking a little shaky, actually, by now. It's still jabbing and gnashing out, but it looks like it's having some thoughts about what it decided to do with today. Okay, so a very poor swing from it. Extra advantage for you. And Rogel to go.
Move there. Do I have line of sight?
Yes, you do. It's standing quite tall, and with Oleg leaning forward, jabbing into one of these small rat men, that yes, there's a line of sight to it.
Okay, I would like to try and make him
Drop his weapon? I'm filling in the blanks here because I can't hear anything. don't know why I'm getting like the occasional stuff. Roll 1d100. 6, that will be a failed dexterity, so he drops his halberd. Good job. Right, and it's him to go, actually. He is going to turn tail and run. So you're going to get an attack of opportunity now, Shauna.
Okay.
At 6.
Oh, yeah.
That's +6.
Okay, you also get an additional +20, which I will add on now as an extra 2 SL, because he's turning to run away. He doesn't get to oppose it because he's not even facing you. So basically that's going to hurt quite a lot. 8, 9, 10, 14. 14, okay. That hurt him quite a lot. As he turns to run, you're able to thrust your blade into his side, and he limps and scuttles away, going quite quickly, but seems to be in a rush to leave. One more swing against Oleg here from this rat, trying a overhand, double-handed swing with his sword, crashing down towards you. Let's see how you roll. Do you have any 3 advantage there? Let's have your defense, Oleg. Yep. Nice and easy, simple blow for you to parry to one side, being better practiced with your shield now. Grimvold.
I just smile and my yellow tooth glistens in the light
You have
and
one
smack this one.
Okay. It is
Boom.
not got any advantage. 4, 4, 6. That will be enough to smite it. Was this with the hammer? Or,
Yes, it's always.
that's with a hammer. So you're able to meet it directly with the the right arm, and it seems to just crush the ball and socket, leaving it just sort of writhing on the ground, trying to right itself, but in effect useless now. Shauna, it's you to go.
How far can I run?
16. So this thing has a bigger movement than you do, I'm afraid.
So it'll be dangerous if you chase it. Just charge this one
Yeah,
then.
charge. But also fine.
You could sprint after it, but you wouldn't also be able to attack. So, but you would get a free attack when it tries to leave you again, if you did that.
How much advantage would Shauna have in this position?
The plus 60 cap, and it's basically dead. Like, yeah, it's not going to last very long. Yep, you managed to quickly slip to the side of Oleg, who stood there with quite a few extra dents in his shield, quite a few knocks out of it, and jab your blade into the back of this. Covered in blood, you are all looking slightly worse for wear, and you can hear this scurrying disappear off into the darkness.
I don't get the chance to move and throw something at it.
Oh yeah, it's
can
your
we
go.
chase
Yeah,
after it?
you can certainly try.
Oleg still has a turn in the.
Yeah.
Say
You
Robo
can
has
move
one
and
before
throw.
This thing escapes too.
Yeah. You can.
Yeah, I would like to move and throw the boat hook.
Okay.
So
Okay,
that's
so you can move your
just
16.
a normal movement.
Yep. So you can run. Sort of around there-ish. Don't worry about the exact square, but yep, you can move, and you can make me a ballistic skill test with I guess, thinking about it, it counts as a thrown weapon, which if you're not trained for, you would have there would be a penalty to do it.
All qualities and flaws get lost. So, doesn't really matter, just throwing a normal weapon.
Yeah,
I
okay.
do believe it counts as a not unwieldy when like you have
Improvised.
an improvised weapon.
Yeah, it
So
counts
what
as
does
an improvised
do?
weapon. So basically that will just be less damage than a normal boat hook. But give it a throw and see what you can do.
Okie doke.
You've still got your 3 advantage for this. 2. You manage to throw, and it likely does hit for the purpose of organising wounds. It's going to hurt it a bit more. It's pretty well armoured, so an improvised weapon is sort of going to basically chink it in the back, but not enough to fell it. It's, as I say, got quite a robust level of metal covering it. Chainmail, in fact. Rogel, I'll let you have a turn if you wish.
Yeah, where can I move to? Like here, I think.
Somewhere around there, yeah. Okay, entangle, and that is successful. Yeah, you're able to tangle it up, and that's going to be a few extra conditions, if I'm aware, with the +7 in total. Yeah, that is a lot. It's going to try and break free, and basically anything I roll other than amazingly is going to... Yep. It basically spends its turn writhing and trying to get out of these shadows which have just come up from the floor and started gripping at its legs, pinning it to the floor. It's not getting anywhere. Grims, you to go.
So that would be 2, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to here. And I am going to run.
Yep. As in sprints? Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna
you can make a test for that. Unless you roll really badly, you're fine. You get +60 to it, so to be honest, making you roll the test is a waste. So don't worry, you're there. It's easy
and
enough.
I reach him, and because I moved, like, since that's my action, I'm just gonna stand in front of him,
Yep.
blocking his way.
Okay, so for the purpose of visuals, we'll do so.
Yeah.
Shauna, it's you to go.
Yeah, doing the same.
Okay.
My run is 16.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can do an additional
runs-
sprinting action, which basically can put you wherever you want to be around him. We won't
That's
roll just because you've got so much advantage that you just can't really go wrong. Oleg, it's you to go. In front of you, Shauna and Grimfield have just sprinted past you to surround this slightly larger
I think
rat-like
I'm
creature.
far enough away for a charge, aren't I?
Yeah, you can charge it.
And did I get an advantage for the throw hitting?
Oh, you hit it, so yes.
Okay.
And that is a pretty big advantage in terms of...
+20 for...
Yeah, that's all sorts. So you're basically on +60.
Yep. Let me just change this to basic because Oleg is going to shield smack it for just 1 damage to try and knock it out.
Okay, it's still got a bit of health, so...
Oh
my God. So you
Success.
actually succeed, but it is a fumble.
Okay, bring it on.
Your weapon suffers 1 damage, so your weapon now deals 1 less damage until you get it repaired.
But it never really dealt damage,
Yep.
technically. Okay.
Which weapon was it that you used? Your shield. Yeah.
It
So
was a shield,
basically, if the shield's damaged, if you're using it, now it effectively has 1 less armor value to it. As it basically jams in and bends a little bit as it meets him. So if shields are damaged, then it's -1 AP.
Fair enough.
Right. But such is the way the dice roll. But that does hit him, and it does do 6 damage. And it does hurt a little bit, but for the purposes of the narrative, although he has 1 more turn coming up, so we'll get that turn out the way, and then the 3 of you will say we'll be able to subdue him between you if you wish. Rogel?
I mean, what else can I do?
You've pinned him to the floor. He's not going anywhere.
I'm gonna go back to the chest and start poking around in it.
Okay. Realising the group have got things under control, you quickly turn back toward the chest. In front of you on the floor is a chest that seems to have lots of little strips of metal and some glass tubes that look like they've been shattered, and as well as metallic tubes as well. Perhaps a pipe has been cut and attached together with bits of string. You can start having a rummage through. We'll come back to that in a moment. Now, I'm going to make a test for the storm vermin just to see. he won't escape, but... Or if he does, then, yeah. He is... That's a fumble as well, so even though it's not an attack, he's basically going to take a damage because reasons. As he's trying to clamber his way loose, you can see him clawing at himself and tearing off a little bit of his own arm to try and release himself from these shadows that are currently attacking him. As three of you now have a round, if you wish to slay him, he is slain. He's got one wound left, so...
You kill him, right? Yeah, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, you're able to...
I'll pop my hammer on his head, and I want to hear that tasty sound of getting squished.
Okay. You are able to do so, and you are able to crush him. He does have a helmet on him, but it wouldn't be one that would look like it would fit you, so no issues with crushing that. And combat is over. Good job. That was hairy. God damn those rolls.
I ashamed.
That was absolute nuts. I actually rolled well for a change, but then Shauna just decided to become a combat monster.
Yeah, the charlatan is the combat master.
Yeah, Shauna is now
I think there's a dwarven ancestor god that took interest in their group after possessing that one dwarf in the mountain pass.
Yeah, it would seem that way. That was
Shauna.
That was some good rolls. Right, so combat is over. I'll just pop you together for the sake of zooming in with the camera. You are able to...
Loot the body!
Loot the bodies. Okay. The obvious things that you find is that from head to toe, that this larger rat was covered in chainmail. Although the entirety of it is ugly, and it also looks like it's probably shoddy or bulky as well. But you're looking at a double negative. Not particularly great, but it clearly offered him a fair degree of protection. And
Shauna's not interested.
it stinks as well. It smells of...
Like Grimwald.
Smells of rodents. It's a familiar smell to those of you from a city. You'd be familiar with the smell of rats, but not very pleasant.
Familiar with the scent of rats from our many trips.
Yeah,
Exactly, you've seen enough of them. He was also sporting a halberd, a two-handed spear-cum-axe of a ugly design, let's say, but aside from that seems usable. And had he have hit you with it, you would have found out what it did, but for now it looks like an impressive blade on a stick to you.
Hey yo, does anybody know what this is?
It's a toothpick.
That's a polearm. I actually have.
Would you like one? Would you like it?
It's probably.
We can cut the stick down.
Rokal with a halberd.
What would I
Halberdier
use it
gnome.
for? A walking stick?
You could ride it like a broom.
Yes, that could be a thing.
Maybe.
Yeah, so. The rest of the bodies, all of them wearing leather armour of some sorts. It's all ugly. It's all shoddy. It's not particularly nice. But it is there. I can also roll... Also find in one of the pockets of them 16 silver coin. 18 silver coin inside a pouch, which is bloodied and you presume has been stolen from someone else.
I take the cash. I also hand 2 to each person as well. And take the rest.
Okay, we'll distribute that at the end, but that was 18 silver to be distributed. Or hoarded.
Rogel, just repeat what you did in front of Rogel, just so he has that benefit of knowing he was gone.
We found 18 silver. I give 2 to each one of you. Now I'll give 3 to each one of you and then take the rest. I'm feeling generous.
9 for you and 3 for each of the group. We'll add all the coin in a bit. So, Rogel, digging through this chest, I would like you to roll me a D100. While I bring up a little table. A 14. Da-da-da-da-dee. 14.
I can feel the culture in that roll.
You find 1 brass penny. I would ask you to roll me again. $49. And bear with me a second. Bring up my hard. Okay. And one more time. There'll be a few rolls here for a moment.
I'm going to run off while you're doing that.
Yeah, no problem. Ah, okay. Okay. That's something. Right, so we got that. We've got one of those and one of those. Right, okay. So we're going to go for this. Where is... This is good. You actually rolled something good there. Just the 65 was bang on what you needed. One more D100 and tell me what you get, because I've got another screen open.
38.
38. And you find an oddity. You find an odd-looking dwarven item in here. It looks a little bit like a cog, perhaps. It's metallic and made and very ornate in its design. It looks like perhaps it has a rune carved in it, but it's clearly part of some machine. You're not sure what it does or what it is, but you found a cog. And one more roll for me, please. And just tell me what you get.
10.
Yeah, that's all that's in there, unfortunately. That is all that you can find. This is one of those tests that actually rolling high is better. So, for now, all seems to be clear within the cave. And you're able to do as you please for a moment.
Shauna wants to rest for a bit.
Okay. Okay. Are you going to, like, set up a small camp and try and...
No, just rest on some rock.
sort of catch your breath for a little bit? Okay, okay. We've
Uh,
probably got
I-
another less than half hour to go, as long as you're happy with that.
Sure.
Okay.
Can
okay.
I attempt to heal them up?
You certainly can. Do you have
I
heal?
am trained in... Yeah, I'm trained in heal.
You can certainly try to heal them. So I believe you roll me a test, and we see how we do.
Firstly for Shauna,
Of course.
and then for Rogel. And pardon, for Oleg.
Of course.
Okay. that's-
Guys, I will now try to attempt to be a scientist and kill both of you, but I
You
accidentally...
stabbed yourself.
yeah.
That is some good healing right there. So you take a little bit of time. If anyone is looking around the area anymore, roll me a perception test. Which is to
Well,
say,
while they're getting tended to, I guess I will.
anyone feeling nosy,
Or
roll me a
attempt.
perception as you're looking around.
I'll re-roll that.
Okay. Ah. This rock, Rogel, you realise there's a crack behind, and it seems curious at least. It doesn't seem to be flush with the rest of the statue. And you are able to, after a little bit of time and a bit of muscle, and asking for some help from one of the others, shift it to one side, which reveals a small, narrow stairway. But a
Check my map.
stairway, nevertheless. It's difficult to say whether the stairway seems to go pretty steeply down and then veers off at an angle, so you're not sure if it goes directly beneath you or if it continues on to another chamber.
Yeah, but was it on the map that he had drawn for us?
No.
Like the...
No, there was no markings. He, let's say, was very sparing with the details. This is quite a crudely drawn
okay.
map, so what you're reading in front of you, you pretty much know that it's not a one-to-one, it's a best guess estimate and what he could remember.
Okay. Hey guys, we found a thing.
We go over.
I'm feeling.
Yeah,
very
I go over
woozy.
there, like, after seeing that I'm not being available, like, I can't do jack shit, like, and excitedly just go away and pretend they never attempted the heal checks at all.
Shiana, sometimes I hate my brooder.
I hate him most of the times.
Okay, so the group presses forward. Do you leave the... what do you do with the entrance as you pass through?
No.
I'll leave it open, I guess.
Is there a way to close it on the other side?
No. There just seems to be a boulder that had been leant up against it.
Is there a way to
Yeah.
roll the boulder back into place in front of it?
Yes,
Yeah,
you could lean it to one side as those of you squeeze through and then let go and it would fall back on. It's of a weight where two people pushing hard will be able to shift it.
Okay.
So we'd be able to get back out again.
Yes, if you had a couple of
Or
you
we
giving it a good heave, you would be able to make your way back through. Okay. So moving down the stairway. This goes down for some 20 or 30 steps in a spiralling pattern to your left. Again, you are greeted with a wooden door. Giving it a nudge as you try to move forward, it does appear to be locked.
How is it locked?
There appears to be a key mechanism to it. It's a well-constructed door of... it's dwarven, as you can see, carved with a lot of intricate patterns and images. It seems to be pretty well preserved. But yeah, you assume that there is some internal locking mechanism.
I'm afraid to even try and use magic on a dwarven door. You know, having like 60-some magic lore, I should know not to cast magic at dwarven stuff.
Just,
It depends how much you know about dwarfs, really, but...
I mean, I could roll it if you want me to.
I mean, those are the.
This is gonna determine whether or not I cast open lock on it.
Roll me if you want to do a perception test to see if there's anything magical about this door, you can do so, because you've got the touch magic thingy.
The second sight?
Yeah.
Oh, I can also detect artifact on it, too.
Yeah. So,
But that's an intuition check, not a perception.
okay, roll me an intuition check to see if you can detect anything of this door, to see if it is of any significance. Seems fine.
Nothing. Alright, well then I guess I'm gonna open lock on.
Go right ahead. You cast the spell. You hear a small clink. And the door seems to just fall open of its own accord afterwards. Nothing bad happens that you can tell. Looking around to your left, to your right, you're greeted with a room with a shrine in the middle, another statue, familiar with the pillar up above, but this time well carved with intricate details of the same deity. And looking around you, best guess would be that this is some form of temple. There are a few...
So like
after you?
Does it look like it was like an organized temple, or does it look like it's haphazardly thrown together?
The structure down here is far better carved, so the walls are neatly constructed. There are archways sort of shielding these doors. The whole of this area looks like it's a well-constructed shrine, let's say, of dwarven nature. There are a couple of chairs around the edge of the room. The entirety of the room is probably some 15 to 20 foot wide, and the same again long. Have a perception test if you're going to snoop around.
Before snooping, Oleg would like to scrape his boots clean outside the threshold before he steps in.
Okay.
Shauna snoops.
Okay.
I'll try to snoop as well.
No.
Right.
My eyes.
So
I can see
Oleg,
anything.
Oleg will get the joys of rolling our D100s now to see what you find in this place. Can you roll me a D100, Oleg?
I'm just going to use the dice thing.
Yep. Just roll a weapon attack if it's easier. Like, it doesn't matter as long as there's a dice in there somewhere. Okay.
45.
45. That will be... Okay. And that's that table done. We will go for... one more roll of a D100. So you can just press up, then enter, and it will do it again.
31.
Okay. You find within the room, on top of the altar, are two shattered portions of what looks like it could have been a weapon. Perhaps an axe with two separate blades with a large crack down the middle, but definitely of dwarven construction and looking pretty interesting.
Ooh.
They look like they've been laid upon this altar. It's hard to tell for
Are
what
they
purpose.
Still in one piece and broken, or in multiple pieces?
There's basically two pieces that you could put together to make this axe head complete again. And there is currently no hilt attached, but you'd recognise an axe head when you see one. And it's not cut in a convenient way that would still construct one axe. It's kind of snapped in a very awkward angle.
So it'd have to be refired.
Yeah, it would have to be reforged, but...
Okay. Oleg is going to pick them up and kind of fit them back together just so he can see what it looked like.
Okay. Looks to be a very impressive axe head that is probably a hand weapon. And
Are the blades still sharp?
I'd say if you run your finger along it, you don't feel any pain, but looking down at your finger just a second later, a few droplets of blood start pouring out. It's of a sharpness that is so fine that it just seems to slice through your flesh. Nothing else seems to be within the chamber, however. A lot of dust, a lot of dirt, but otherwise seems to have been cleared out.
Hey everybody, this axe head has made me bleed.
How did that happen?
I tested the sharpness. He's old, he's broke, and it is very sharp.
Give it to Grimwald. Let him test it out. Just in case.
Test out what?
This new axe that your brother has found.
But it's only the axe head.
It doesn't matter, you can test it out.
But no, I don't wanna.
Oh, come on, do it for Shauna.
How about this? I'm going to put it in my backpack and then we get some money for it later, yeah?
Yeah.
I'll put it in my pack, eh?
I also,
Yeah, you put it in your pack. Keep it.
I also tap whichever one puts it in the back. I'll haggle it for you for offering.
Was it lighter weighted at all compared to normal iron?
One encumbrance. It seemed to be perhaps a little lighter than steel, but not too far from it.
Okay.
The curiosity of the blade as you hold it is that, although broken in two, it seems to otherwise have no imperfections whatsoever. A very peculiar combination.
Interesting. Sounds like an art. Did you find it on an altar?
Yeah, it was right over on that altar there.
Yeah, it's probably a religious artifact. They might actually confiscate that as we go out. So I wouldn't say.
Well, yeah. Do we attempt to negotiate, or perhaps
I'll negotiate for it.
Or try to
or do we
bribe
smuggle?
them?
Do we smuggle it to the Golden Mug?
But how?
I don't know.
Well, do they do checks on our bags?
Yes.
How about you put one like the sharp end in your butt cheek, like clench it between your butt cheeks, and I'll do the other one. And if some guy taps us like in the butt, we just say it's our butt plugs, our anti-chaos butt plugs.
You show them what your mama gave you.
Oh man, that sounds terrible. You both are morons.
So we'll have Sienna haggle with the guards. Yeah.
I'll try. I can also babble.
I mean, if you really want it, sure, but they might get mad at you just for trying to get stuff that we're not supposed to.
Yeah, the penalty is death. So
No. Haggle for a better price.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's fine. Better reward.
Maybe we mark down where the temple was on the map to sell that information to the tavern lady.
Sure. Find anything interesting?
Okay.
I like it.
Is there only one exit out of this temple back the way we came, or?
No. There is another door.
Well, is there a way?
There's another.
There is another door. This too is also locked. Seems a similar door in construction to the other, though.
Does it still look?
What?
I'm going to ask you to say that one more time for me.
Does the door still look?
I don't only get half your sentence. Does the door still look
Does
dot
the door
dot
still look fancy?
fancy? Thank you. I have no idea why I can't hear you, Paul. I'm sorry.
You're just about every other word is missing for me.
Yeah. Oh, for Paul or for me?
For you.
Oh, great. Yeah, I think Discord's being bad. Right. It looks the same as the other one. It's decorative and ornate, but it's if you took a few seconds to look at one and look at the other, the carvings seem to be identical.
So, yeah.
Same again. You're able to whisper some words to yourself, and in front of you, the door creaks open slowly. Absolutely. And you are able to continue. Now, for the last few moments, let's have one more D100 for whoever is travelling first.
Okay.
To see what you find on your adventure as you continue forwards.
78.
78.
We only roll high when we're rolling for monster.
Right.
78.
Finding loot is terrible.
We'll meet that dragon ogre Shaggoth eventually.
Make me a
Right.
perception test, OLED.
Certainly. Hey.
nice.
Getting quite good at this. Walking forward, because you rolled the same as last time, the floor in front of you looks fairly similar to the previous trap you discovered. And sure enough, poking it with the hilt of your weapon, the floor in front of you falls away to reveal another pit. Perhaps some 10 feet deep, again with spiked traps and an assortment of dangers down below. A couple of dead bodies, perhaps, and skeletons at the bottom.
Are
Difficult.
there any loot with those skeletons?
Make a perception test.
Cool.
Any bonuses?
Well, if you stand there staring for a while with a flame in your hand, plus 20. Like, obvious things, free things will be free anyway, but it's just to see what additional stuff you get. Okay. Looks like there might be a dead dwarf down there. And you're pretty sure, given the height and stature, that it likely is a dwarf. Looks like he's been paled directly through the chest. As you hold the flame up, you're fairly sure there's a few small rats that sort of scuttle away into some little crevices. But it looks like it's not a skeleton, so your guess is that it's maybe they've been there weeks or months, but it's face down right now, so you don't really know.
So, apart from corpses, there isn't anything else?
No, it looks like he's probably wearing some leather armor. There might be some chain on there as well, but wearing a coat on his back or a cloak of sorts, it's not too apparent. And it looks like he may have dropped an axe down by his side, but it's...
Does it look like we can safely scale down with a rope, or would the spikes be in the way?
You could do. You would likely have to hack away at a couple of them to make the landing a little easier, but it's probably something you could do.
So it would be possible to let someone down and just destroy all the spikes.
Someone small, perhaps?
Yeah, someone lightweight.
Yeah, but how will I destroy anything?
Well, I mean, you wouldn't have to really, considering how small you are.
Yeah.
Could I maneuver the spikes? I mean, if they're as large as I am, then
You
I
could
could just
probably
walk between them
wiggle
like
your way between them, yeah. There'd be every sort of like 12 to 18 inches apart, but you could probably wriggle your way through. It might be like a little bit of an Angelina Jolie scene, but you might be able to do it.
We use the halberd and we tie the rope to it over the pit, and then we can lower Rogel down with Grim's hammer, and then he can smash the spikes.
But I can't smash it.
Oh, I forgot you're weak.
Yeah. I have 13. I have 23 strength base.
It does look shoddily crafted, so it's possible you might even be able to push them to one side. You don't really know from where you're standing.
Yeah, but guys, we were here on a mission to go and get, to get the water stuff. If I'm going to exhaust myself breaking down this spike trap just to get an axe.
All right. While we're arguing about this, Oleg is just going to go fishing with the grapple hook and rope, trying to snag the corpse and pull it up.
Okay.
Roll your fishing skills.
Make a dexterity check, and we'll say -20, but you can have a couple of goes. We'll see what the results are. I'll say you can keep trying, but if you fumble, it lands in a place where you can't get it.
All right, you broke up for half of that.
Okay, so roll me a dexterity test with -20. If you fumble, it'll land somewhere where you're not able to get it, but you can keep trying. So you could stay there for or you could just get it straight away. Right, so yeah, you pull out a hand axe on the first try, like clearly someone that you want to be taking to a carnival, and my random quality macro is not working. Okay, you pick out an axe, and it does seem to be of decent quality. It doesn't look like it's finely crafted, but it looks reliable and sturdy, and looks like it might be fairly lightweight as well. A nice hand axe. It's got two positive qualities to it. It's going to be lightweight and sturdy.
Okay.
Or durable, whichever was the equivalent for a weapon.
Sweet. Well, your amazing fishing action just won that for you. Go ahead and have it. I don't think anyone here needs the money.
I would always like some money.
Well, you're an addict, and we could throw you.
Yeah.
I mean, then who'll kill most of your enemies?
I will, and Oleg will, and Rogel would. Yeah.
I'm sorry, who had 6 advantage?
Yeah, we better get rid of that before it... There you go. So, You are done for now. You are free to move forward. Let's see how we're doing for time.
Still got like
Time when you're- Okay. Let's have a nose for trouble. No, not a nose for trouble. Let's have another intuition test over to see if you can smell anything fishy. In terms of your journey, you're shy of halfway there, but you've made it a fair way. Oh boy,
How's
that is a very good roll. Okay, so you make your way out of this temple and get a little bit of an uneasy feeling. Looking left, looking right, you survey your surroundings, instruct the group to hold steady. And not straight ahead, but up to your left, you can hear a sound of something bestial, let's say. It's letting out a fairly deep grumble every now and again, a huff, a pant, something of that sort. But you get the impression something is up there. It's not been notified of your presence, but there is something not too far away.
Oh boy. So we came out from the temple area. I'm guessing it's here.
So you're basically here. And basically somewhere down here, you can hear something, Oleg. But as far as your map's concerned, you want to be over down here.
Okay.
I mean, we can go check it out.
This is going downwards. We are going up.
You're kind of on a flat now, so kind of a bit of both. This bit on your right down here is very slightly uphill, and there's a little bit of a ledge over here.
Okay.
But
So we do not have the high ground once we get towards there.
I mean, if you go down here, I'll just move Grim around. If you go to there, you're technically on high ground. This would be lower.
Okay.
So Shauna is lower than Grimvald right now, and Grimvald
Right.
is higher than Shauna here by like 2 or 3 meters. It's not incredible, but where Grimvald is now and slightly further along is some sort of noise.
So
Is it
over
weird?
here
Does
is
Ersik
the
sound like a
noise.
robot?
It's because what's happening is now he's actually transmitting to us, and his bandwidth is trying to cut it. So
Okay.
it sounds like a connection issue on Matt's end, but it's okay. This is actually tolerable.
I'd
Yeah,
rather
as long
get
as you can
robot
hear me.
voice.
Yeah, I'd rather get robot voice.
Robot is preferable than no voice. So, and there's
Yeah.
nothing I can do about the robot voice.
Mm-hmm.
It's all good.
It's fine.
So, over to you guys. You have on your right-hand side a tunnel, a cave, perhaps, with some noise coming from within it, and your journey is set to be dead ahead.
Guys, do you want to check it out, Xenoid?
Excuse me.
If it's rats, then no.
If it's loud sounding, then no, I'd rather sneak around it.
Okay.
It's not loud, but it's deep.
Oh, so it's menacing.
It's a bassy sort of resonant grumble that you can hear every now and again.
Well,
Is it like anything we've heard before?
It's probably a cave troll. So let's just.
It would be of a similar, like if you were to try and match up in your mind that how bassy a large creature sounds to a small creature, you would liken it to a troll.
How about we just roll stealth and.
I'm shit at stealth.
Well, if it's asleep, then it might be easier to sneak by, unless you, like, screech.
I'm gonna wake it up.
Okay, it's up to you.
No,
Rogel's gonna sneak.
Yeah, I'm gonna sneak as well.
And use my last reroll.
Okay. Oh boy, yeah, that's quite the success. So Rogel is able to sneak across without any issues whatsoever. Grim able to tiptoe quietly across.
We will.
Shauna not
Reroll.
quite to.
Okay.
Well, that wasn't a terrible roll, but it wasn't a pass equally.
Okay, there you go. It's worse.
Oh wow.
Slightly less bad. Oh no, that was Oleg. Yeah, so that was actually worse. So,
Yeah.
oh, that's absolutely fantastic. So 6, 7, 8 positive, and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 negative.
You guys
As-
suck.
The
Does Oleg
brilliant-
have any more rerolls? Or no?
Maybe.
Okay, well then just get us caught. It's fine.
Well, you want me to waste a reroll on a beat of 30? All right.
I mean,
Beat no, it's
I
beat
don't
at
know.
81 at this point. Because we're at -1 to get caught.
It's
if you
still
can
gonna
get,
wake up no matter what roll I use.
whatever.
yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Oh,
You gotta remember, I crit fumbled last time I rerolled.
it's true. You did crit fumble.
Well, the good news is that thanks to that reroll, the group of you make your way through with a little bit of noise coming from Shauna, but the rest of you moving quietly enough to aid her along. And you pass through without being discovered. There is this consistent murmuring and groaning coming from this tunnel, occasional scraping noise. It's difficult to say what's going on in there. But you make your way past to a point where you're pretty confident that you've moved unnoticed.
I'd rather
re-
just keep sneaking.
that
'Cause this
reroll
is-
did save your bacon, I can confirm. Although Shauna's reroll also got you in that trouble in the first place.
Yeah.
It's true.
So,
Did we get to see what it was on our way by?
roll a perception test if you had a look inside. You've got night vision, so you'll get more information.
That's for Shauna.
Rogel didn't see anything.
Yeah, something large was inside there that was. You would know it was the shape and size of it. Well, it was the size of a troll at least, but you're not exactly sure of the details, Shauna. Oleg, the only thing, the details you picked out is that it had a tail. It was perhaps slightly broader than that of a troll, and it was. It looked like it was maybe scratching a rock or rubbing itself against something. It wasn't facing your direction, however.
Okay.
Okay.
Hurry up.
Sounds scary enough.
I've also-
good thing we avoided it.
Rocked the assumption that you turned your lantern down to a bare minimum,
Yeah.
because the rest of this tunnel is pitch black. You are
Yeah.
manoeuvring through darkness. Thus far, there's been no other light sources. At this point as well, if one individual was using a torch, it would have burned through by now. But how long does a lantern last?
I can look that up if you'd like.
If you don't mind, and if someone else can roll me one more D100.
I'll roll the D100.
I believe in you. 93. Okay.
Well, we just rolled a horrible monster to fight next session.
Ooh. Okay, roll me 1d10, Grim.
8.
8. Okay. You move forward for a little while towards a chamber. This chamber is perhaps some 40 feet wide and 50 feet long. The other side of this tunnel clearly being the other side of this chamber. The floor, however, is littered with numerous pits, to the point where perhaps only 1/5 of the floor within this area is still standing. It looks like numerous portions have basically collapsed into a cavern below. Looking over the top, you can look down and you can see it's perhaps some 40 to 50 feet down. It is a very long drop, but this series of narrow walkways through the middle, the sides are being propped up by sort of a few stalagmites, mites, I think. Exceptionally tall stalagmites from down below, or simply just pillars that are still holding this floor barely. So you will be able to... Okay, wow, the lantern's amazing then. Cool. You're good for light. It will require a little bit of finesse to try and traverse this, and you're not exactly sure of how sturdy these remnants of flooring are going to be, but you may make an attempt. So, what is the plan?
Come on, Beamer.
Well, do we go or?
Well, is there another way to go?
Conferring with the map, you could go back the way you came and down an alternate route. It is possible, but would take longer, and would also involve going back through the cave of whatever creature that was. But it is possible to go another route.
I say we take the risk and kill the thing that's in the room. I'm just kidding, of course.
Nobody liked that.
Yeah, nobody liked that, I know.
So we're trying to cross this pit.
Yeah.
There is a series of pits, basically. It's a central chamber where a lot of the flooring seems to have collapsed into a secondary set of tunnels beneath. And the walls and the structure underneath seems to be propping up with a few pillars, remnants of flooring, but it's clear with maybe 5 or 6 large pits within here that the flooring is somewhat unsteady. But
Okay, so is there a goal to go down anyway?
your goal is to go down anyway, but it looks like a 40-foot direct drop to go down.
We have 50 feet of rope and a grappling hook, FYI, to help secure.
Yep.
It's true. We could go down, but that would require basically leaving our grappling hook and rope behind. What do you guys think?
Everybody takes a mining pick, or a climbing pick.
Yeah, and we
Hopes for the
climb.
best, just in case you fall.
You don't want to use the rope?
Well, we could.
Because the rope would allow us to come back out the same way.
Yeah, I think that's better using the rope.
Okay.
Yeah, we just leave it and we can just use it when we come back.
So you are climbing down via the rope.
Yes.
Climbing down through the pits. Okay, sure. That does seem like it'll be a shortcut for your journey. It does look like it will save you going ahead and then back on yourself again. Definitely is possible. So
Let's go that route.
there are a few structures around that you feel confident that you'll be able to attach a rope to. Large boulders. You'd be pretty sure that you can get a decent vantage here and pick a more suitable place to go down. Someone rolls me a perception test just to survey and try and find the best possible route of descent.
Nice.
Perfect.
There we
Okay.
go.
Shauna, you find, after sort of looking to the left side of the room for a little while, a point where it's not so much a vertical drop, but a very sort of a bit more of an incline. So at least you get the impression that if things go wrong, then things wouldn't perhaps be quite so fatal. And attached on the side is a pillar, or the remnants of a pillar, a huge, perhaps 4-foot wide block that is, or once was perhaps supporting a structure within here that has since collapsed, but a convenient place to tie a bit of rope to. So I will say, given that you've got a hook, the equipment, and given that Oleg is of a seafaring nature, that you won't have to roll to do a knot. I'll say that will be included within your knowledge.
Sailing
you-
knowledge.
Yeah. I'd say, seeing as you're a huffer, that you'd be familiar with the basics of ropes.
T.
Indeed, you would know the ropes. And who would like to go first?
Oleg will.
Okay.
I'll go second.
I'm last, or at least second to last.
Okay, Oleg gonna go first. Do you want to save this for next time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Good spot.